This entire video starts 2 months after uploading the last video, in the beginning of March. I finally wanted to use my graphics card properly, so I set out to accomplish just that. Now if you're wondering why you're not seeing the footage of that, I ran into a dead end until the end of July with this. And you'll just have to believe me when I say I'm sparing you 30 hours of some idiot slowly losing his mind without making any progress. In the meantime, my power supply died because my dog chewed through it. I decorated my keyboard and I got a third hard drive. So, upgrade. Couple of things. Remember how installing graphics drivers broke the video output? That was the dock. Remember how my NUC didn't output video at all? Well, that's normal. But it was also the dock. Remember how 45 million people in China died in the 60s? That was the dock. I think. Anyways, after ordering a new power supply and countless hours of research later, a new dock, at the end of July, things actually started moving forward. So it's been a while. So my dock doesn't work, so I bought a different one. It cost $35, I think. I ended up paying $80 for it because international shipping from Taiwan. It arrived, it looks like this. Yeah, I got kind of fucked up. This thing smells like shit. Like it smells like somebody like dipped their balls into this. No, I mean, really, with the state of this packet, I wouldn't be surprised. There, it's an ADT linked R3G. With me wasting this amount of money, you would think that I would have enough to just buy like a tripod or something. I paid about 10 or so in handling because apparently you need to pay people to ruin your fucking packaging. Alright, anyways, one of these, oh yeah, this one is for the DA2, which means that I don't need to buy a different power supply. I kind of procrastinated a lot because I thought I needed to buy a different one. Turns out I don't. I'm gonna get my graphics card and just try to put it in. To nobody's surprise, the cable doesn't fit. I did mark how much I need to file out more, and yeah, after that we should be fine. I just need to file this. So, slight problem. This cable is too wide for this screw post right here to fit through, and it's probably gonna cut on this here. Yeah, it does. The only real option that I have is like moving the cable sort of up there and then sawing out something from here. Now, in case you're wondering about how I fixed it, so I sawed out a piece of metal from here instead of filing it out, and I put it on here, currently being held in with electrical tape. I did have to loosen that piece of tape, I guess, actually get it to bend in that axis. Then I sawed into that little clip there and just bent it inwards. So now this actually fits past that screw mount right there. Hey, look at this. It's working. Except it's not. I did a little more reading. Apparently the first boot, like the first sort of cold reboot, always yields a black screen, because the NUC apparently is outputting to a virtual display but isn't mapped to any fucking display output. So I just soft restarted it, just tapped the power button instead of like holding it to actually turn it on. And the cable is connected to the thing there. I'm gonna see if I can get some graphics drivers and see if, I don't know, that works, I guess. Alles nur wegen der Telekom. Ich bin alleine. But yes, it is working. Hello, look at this. Oh. 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 I did a little bit of cable management here, and this thing is sealed now. I used a bit of foam on both sides to keep the side vents open. These two hard drives are stacked on top of each other. This one's still on top of a NUC. My graphics card is on the other side. Or not, it's basically the same thing. But yeah, this is basically done now. Now, this isn't actually done just yet. There's a bunch of things that I want to change. Everything here gets pretty toasty in here, especially in summer. It's 37 degrees right now, I believe. Basically, the game plan now for me is to buy a bunch of fans and, I don't know, put them back here, I believe. Oops, put them back there. Just to, I don't know, move some air. The NUC case gets pretty hot and my hard drives also get pretty hot. The next thing would be getting these two hard drives off of their 12 volt wall warts, because there is this handy dandy little 12 volt pin back here, which only turns on once this NUC is turned on, which means that I don't need to get behind here and press two power on buttons, because I don't want these spinning when I'm not using this PC. It's just excess noise that I really don't like, especially when I'm sleeping. It just seems cool to put stuff on here and have like two power supplies on this entire thing instead of 1, 2, 3, 4 power supplies. Basically just some quality of life stuff. This is gonna mark the end of this video, which was half a year in the making, I believe. Stay tuned for the next one in about another half a year. Okay, so I got myself just a rod of M6, you know, just a threaded M6 rod. They unfortunately didn't have M7, which is wood, which would have been exactly what I needed. But I did buy some nuts, so I can hopefully just kind of keep it on there. In case you were wondering what I needed the rod for, basically my desk has these holes because it's sort of modular. You can move the actual desk part up and down. Put some rods here, which like some shrink wrap here just to reduce vibrations a little bit, and then some nuts on the outside here just to keep this thing from slipping out. On top of that was just an MDF board that I had, and I have my two hard drives up here just because, you know, one of them was basically completely isolated. They were just stacked on top of each other with basically foam all around, which really isn't great for passive cooling if there's nothing to passively cool it. They still get pretty warm, especially when recording. Nevertheless, I do have them resting on foam here and then some foam on the side. It was the same foam that's on my NUC as well. It's on this side now because my headphone cable is really short. I have my GPU hanging upside down. It's one of the only ways where I can have cable clearance for this, all while still having the actual display outputs on the back here. And then my USB hub is just back here. I'm gonna need another one because, as you can see, I have something in the front here which I really don't want to have. So I'm just gonna replace this, like my mouse, with another USB hub. The idea of having a bunch of fans back there, that's kind of evolved. I've decided on using like a single 200mm fan back there. I did think about like getting like a single cooling solution for both my GPU and my NUC. Have like a massive cooler sandwiched in between. Probably a really dumb idea actually. I do have a case planned for this. It's probably gonna be made of MDF as well. I'm just gonna get the 3D model for this real quick. I kind of took to the idea of motherboard standoffs for my dock. So basically my NUC is gonna be mounted sideways, probably gonna be mounted through like holes in the back. My hard drives are probably gonna be sandwiched in between like standoffs. This thing is the fan back there. I want to have like more USB ports back here, so I decided on like an ultra slim thing from Anker. Ironically enough, I haven't really accommodated my old USB hub and where I'm gonna put everything else. Probably gonna be down here. Pardon my bottles. I'm toying around with the idea of having an SFX power supply in here instead of the DA2. I was looking at getting a boost converter from 12 volts to 23. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do that actually. This power supply would probably be sort of backwards so that the cables can come up there. I just have a few cables laid out, 2 actually. Not sure how I'm gonna mount this 200mm fan up there. I'm not quite happy with this, like this little bottom compartment. The rest of the case is really open, and this part isn't. Oh fuck it, I'll figure something out. Now nothing much has changed about this. Something is about to change. There you go. I did like a couple minor changes for when I put some foam under this hard drive right here. I overclocked my NUC using Thomas Hendry, as you can see. There you go. Anyways, this marks the end of this video, and maybe actually in half a year, the case I want to build is finished being made or something like that. I don't know. I was also thinking about making it out of metal. Maybe, probably not, but whatever. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be not taking a break in between videos. Also, I just did my first BitChute upload. It's still being processed. This is gonna be maybe cool at some point. Who knows? This camera stabilization is really weird.